So, my name is Kateryna, and I am the commander of Awangarda Team, so a Polish medevac team here in Donbas in Ukraine. So, our aim of the Awangarda team, we are doing medevac mostly. We are doing medical evacuation of the wounded from the front line. It's mostly soldiers, of course, but also civilians, even sometimes children, but of course not that many, thank God. And we are also helping at the stabilization point to, as the name says, stabilize the wounded there, so they are able to survive the medevac, which is quite long. It's a foundation, it's a non-government organization. We started at the beginning with just a small team, and we created the foundation so we are able to get any support, which would be great if anyone would like to help support us, because we are using our own funds mostly and whatever we can get from the donators to continue our work. Awangarda team is we have paramedics, we have nurses, we have doctors, and we have guys that are really good ambulance and tactical drivers that have special medical courses. They're not like medical, they don't have, medical degree, but they are high at like tactical paramedic knowledge. And this is all combined together. We always have one medic that is really good in what he does. He's like the main medic of the medevac with experience. There is always one more medic that is extra to help. And we have a really good driver, because those roads and the shelling needs a really good driver. First time I came around 1 month after the war started, so we are here almost 1.5 years now, right? The biggest problem at the beginning, when thinking of the medical system, was transporting the wounded from the hospitals in Kiev, Lviv, because the medical teams in Ukraine, they couldn't cross the border, and the new wounded didn't have any place to go to, right, to the hospital for treatment. So we started with really big transports from Lviv hospitals mostly, through the border with Poland to Rzeszów-Jasionka airport, and there medical airplanes from all over the world came to take the casualties, the wounded soldiers and civilians for treatment to different countries. And this continued for a while until the system could stand on their feet and continue the work. And then we moved to the front line, to Donbas, to do the medevac under shelling, basically. The first time we came, well, there was a lot of stuff blowing up on the right, on the left, in front and behind. A lot of fire, a lot of closed roads. So, it's war. We knew what we were coming for. So yeah, it made an impact on us, of course, but we knew where we are going and what we want to do. And we were focused on that. It differs. We've been in many parts of the front line. The tactical situation changed. Everything is changing all the time. So the problems were different as well for many parts of Donbas, for many regions and for many specific sites. But of course, one problem stays the same, and it's funds, it's money. We have to spend a lot to fix the ambulance, the car, each time. The roads, let's be honest, it's shit, okay? It was bad already, and now it's with like big holes and craters after bombing. So the car, it has to take a lot. And most of the time we have to change the wheels many times during one change as well. And of course we need to buy all the medical supplies to exchange, right? Because we use them on the patients. And how many patients, it depends, right? It's fluid. Sometimes not that much, and sometimes we don't get to sleep or eat for many, many days and nights, and we just work and work. So then it's a lot to buy. All reactions are different. A couple of times some of the guys were like, what is that language? Oh, Poland! I've been there! I've been to Krakow! Oh yeah, and I worked there and there. So it's really, really nice. Some of them actually start speaking some random Polish words that they learned. Some of them are asking us like, what are we doing here actually? And like, why? And then they are thanking us for the support and for our work. Many times in some situations they were so thankful and in tears that we cried as well, so we all cried basically. And a couple of guys were especially happy when they saw a woman medic, so paramedic or nurse. So they wouldn't let anyone treat them. Actually, they were in a lot of combat stress, and the moment that a beautiful girl approached them, it was like, okay, do anything you want. Actually many times, unfortunately. A couple of times it was really close, so we only had to change our underwear and that's fine, right? No, nothing happened to anyone, basically. A couple of times we got bombed. One time we got S-300 put directly to our base, the place where we were sleeping, living and getting ready for work. All our ambulances were there. They were, you know, hidden under roof and everything, but someone gave coordinations and it was a hit. So the roof started falling on my head. And we were all just lying on the ground praying and waiting for it to end, basically. One of the ambulances, it went to smithereens, it just blew away, and it caught fire as well. So one of the Polish ambulances was just out of the picture, but it was only an ambulance and there was no one in it. So that was quite lucky. So there were injured, but no one was killed in that accident. Another time, two Shahid drones were directed into our medical base as well. And it was less lucky because 5 of our medic friends were killed in that attack. We were not at the base at the moment, that's why we're still here and I can talk about it to you. So we are celebrating our second birthday each time when we think of this date. And we will until the end of our lives probably, because very lucky as well.
Tutaj mieszkałeś.
Tutaj mieszkałem, no dokładnie tam pod tą ścianą.
Zobacz jak podpaliło tą ścianę.
No.
And the third time, basically similar situation, one of our bases as well as 300. It collapsed down everything, and many soldiers and medics were trapped underneath. Some were dead as well. We were in the stabilization point at the moment when this happened, and our commander of the whole medical regiment, he took his team and he told he's taking the Polish team. We took the 2 ambulances and we went as fast as we could. We never drove that fast before, and we went straight to the place of the collapsed building and we helped the crews that were there on the spot to go through the rocks, go through the building, everything, and we tried to get out anyone that could be still alive. And that was all night's work.
Ходи, блядь! Пизда. Уебал. Пошли! Пошли!
So yeah, this is like just a couple of examples. It's definitely shrapnel, most of the cases. I don't really know the statistics because we didn't have time to, count and make statistics of the medical cards. But I would say like 80% of the wounded ones is shrapnel. So that's quite normal, different than from the other conflicts we know before. And now the number of problems with mines, minefields is increasing as well. But still shrapnel is like on the top of the list. And we kind of have a lot of contusion, so barotrauma. So of course we can see that it's getting better with time because the soldiers were able to get more courses, more knowledge from experience. It still has a lot to do. We still have areas where we want to make it better. We're all working for it together, right? Polish and Ukrainians and everyone else who is here helping. There is a lot of things to consider with the training, very specific things which we see are a problem still. For example, not changing the tourniquets, for not exchanging them for other for like wound packing, other options, for example, or lower the tourniquet. So this is one of the problems which could happen earlier, and sometimes the leg is already gone. So we could save at least a part of the leg, which would be better for in the longer period for rehabilitation. But also there is this old school thinking in many areas of the front line that you need to release the tourniquet from time to time and then secure it back again. So there are some, myths and problems that we want to deal with. We are doing trainings and courses as well as Awangarda team. We want to help people to notice those problems and make everything just work better. And hopefully it will get better again and again. But I can see the change. Our battalion is also much higher and better and advanced than it was, let's say, half a year ago. Oh my God, where do I start? So the counterfeit tourniquets, you see them everywhere. They are still coming in millions of pieces. We don't really even take them anymore. Our, medical battalion actually disposes of them because they are no use for us. The only use is maybe, like to secure something in the ambulance or give the dog to as a toy because they don't have them. But yeah, they don't work. They break. They don't give you enough of limb occlusion pressure. They're basically shit. And we've seen many times counterfeit tourniquets that were just, like broken or not working. So other tourniquets were put next to them, like kissing tourniquets. That's what it's called professionally. And there were like even 3 or 4 tourniquets on one limb because the first or the second one couldn't get the pressure right. So still, if anyone who is sending some donations to Ukraine, please do not send the Chinese tourniquets. Please stay with the original ones. They're the ones that are saving the lives. And we want the medical equipment to work because every second counts. Every blood particle counts. Okay, so if I could recommend something to the young combat medics is Definitely prepare on the medical field. Make sure you know how to put the tourniquet correctly, you know, to like secure it really tight before working with the secure system, whatever it is. Make sure that you have your backpack packed really well. What I can say is there is never enough of the combat gas in your backpack. The wounds just take and take and take more and more. So this is something I would change in most of the backpacks. Get ready for something different. Most of you will not get shot at with rifles, with handguns. Basically everything that is dangerous for you comes directly from air all the time, and there is not much you can do about it. So you need to be ready for that. That it's mostly about soldiers' luck, not really your skills and most of the parts. And you need to have you need to be aware of all your surroundings because of that mainly. And it's really good to have really good equipment. So of course plate carriers are still good in many situations. It depends what's your task, it depends what you want to do, where you are exactly in what unit. But if you have an option, if you don't have to be really fast and light, consider wearing a more built carrier for your plates. Consider the low cut instead of the high cut helmet maybe. Make sure that the shrapnel, which is just flying around everywhere, maybe it will, you know, not hit your neck, and whatever you can protect, just think of that and try to protect as much area of the body as you can. Well, I can tell you our motivation. Our motivation is that we do not agree with what the Russians are doing. That is definitely not acceptable for us. And we, as you know, medics, we felt the need to use our skills. And we knew that on the front line especially, there is a need for good medics. And that it can change, you know, it will not change the whole war, but it might change the whole life for those soldiers who we will rescue. So we just felt the need that we need to be here, and this is where all our life led us to do and be. So we believe in what we do, and we will continue it against all politics also and all that shit. We just want to save lives because this is what we do.